You're watching CW Montana. This is the MTN 9 o'clock news.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us for the MTN 9 o'clock news. I'm Russ RIesinger. News happening across Montana tonight. 5 more COVID-19 cases now confirmed. This as Governor Steve Bullock extends school closures, tightens restrictions on those who are still gathering, and pleads with every Montanan to set a good example. Well, the coronavirus situation seemingly changing by the minute. Tonight, those 5 new confirmed cases bring Montana's total to 51 now. 1 new case detected here in Yellowstone County moves our total to 8. Gallatin County continues to lead the way with 19 confirmed cases. Jefferson County is now on the map with 1 case this afternoon. So far, more than 1,600 people have been tested in Montana and no deaths have been reported. Well, Montana is still with a relatively small number of cases compared to other places in the U.S., but our number, as you just saw, is growing. Governor Steve Bullock taking more action today. Here's Janelle Slade with more on the steps he's taking to try and keep us safe.
Russ, Governor Bullock says the numbers will go up. Now, he stresses we all have an obligation to set a good example. We need to practice social distancing and avoid large groups of people. As for slowing the spread of the COVID-19 in Montana, the governor taking some steps. First of all, the order to close non-essential businesses and schools is being extended to April 10th. For now, Bullock wants to hold off on shutting down schools for the rest of the school year.
Some have asked, why don't I just close down the schools for the rest of the year? Or conversely, when I say 2 more weeks, am I confident that life will be back to normal in 2 weeks? I don't think it would be wise or serve the best interests of Montanans at this time to make decisions that'll have finality for what Montana might look like 8 or 10 weeks down the road.
So 2 more weeks added onto the order to close schools and non-essential businesses. Now, the governor also announced gatherings are now limited to no more than 10 people. It was a recommendation before, but now it's an order.
For every person who stays at home or avoids large crowds, the better our chances to fight this virus and protect our frontline healthcare workers and emergency responders.
Now, the governor also talked about preparations being made, taking a look at how some patients could be transferred home to free up hospital beds if needed. He also says more supplies are on the way, including 50,000 masks and 4,000 swab tests. Now, the main thing he continues to stress is that we take this seriously. He says the actions we take today will make a huge difference in lessening the spread here in Montana. Russ.
All right, thank you, Janelle. Wyoming's governor also announcing new restrictions in an attempt to keep the COVID-19 virus from infecting more people there. The order is aimed at businesses where social distancing is not practical. Hair salons and barber shops, nail salons, massage parlors, and tattoo shops are all being closed. Medically necessary services such as physical therapy providers do remain open. The order goes into effect tomorrow and runs through April 3rd. Well, we checked in with School District 2 Superintendent Greg Upham to get his thoughts on the extension of school closures and the next steps for Billings. The superintendent urged parents to contact their school to access learning resources for special needs students. Now the question centers around the end of school.
You know, the biggest question was, is the closure going to be extended? Yes, the closure's been extended. You know, now the question is, what do you think about the end of school? I don't know. I appreciate what the governor's doing. He's taking this in 2-week increments. The closure through April 10th follows John Felton's directive for Yellowstone County. I'm supportive of that. Being consistent is critical with that. But I think it's just we're still watch and wait, but we are preparing and having conversations about if this closure would extend through the rest of the school year.
Upham has been providing updates to parents and teachers on the district website and Facebook page. School District 2 continues to provide breakfast and lunch service at 4 locations and 5 mobile food trailers. So far, the district has served almost 9,000 meals. And while Montana public schools are now closed until at least April 10th, Catholic schools in the state will be closed until at least the beginning of May. According to a letter from Bishops Michael Warfel and Austin Vetter, Montana Catholic schools will remain closed until at least May 4th in order to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. Remote instruction will continue to happen during this time period. Well, if you call 911, or if you called 911, here in Yellowstone County, there are some new questions you must answer. Along with the location and the type of emergency, dispatchers and first responders will also ask if the patient is experiencing flu-like symptoms. Billings Fire Chief Bill Rash says, although the question is generic, it helps responders avoid COVID-19 exposure. Chief Rash also says callers could be placed on hold because dispatchers are trying to prioritize emergencies. There are already 8 cases of positive coronavirus in Yellowstone County, as we mentioned, and at least 2 of those are healthcare workers. Well, if you've been laid off due to coronavirus uncertainty, unemployment benefits are on the way. That's the latest from the Department of Labor. High demand overloaded the state website, but as Q2's Andrea Lutz reports, not for long.
Montanans trying to file for unemployment were met with worry and frustration as they got to the site and found out that it was down because of heavy traffic. Well, now those with the Department of Labor say that they've been feverishly working to get the site back up and running.
So we've had unprecedented numbers, as you know.
Brenda Nordlund with the Montana Department of Labor and Industry says over 13,000 claim filings started to overload the website last week. This as restaurants and businesses all across Montana closed their doors to prevent the spread of the coronavirus.
Completely unprecedented.
Thousands of workers now out of a job for the foreseeable future. And because of that, MontanaWorks.gov was overloaded and overwhelmed by a capacity it's never seen before.
We put all of our resources that we could into stabilizing MontanaWorks.gov.
Those filings were met with a slow and sometimes unresponsive web page. But that being said,
so a lot of folks got pushed through, even though they did encounter intermittent, recurring, and frustrating interruptions in service.
Nordlund says a team worked for 36 hours straight to strengthen the site. And on Sunday and Monday alone, 12,000 requests for payment were pushed through.
I can't imagine how many are feeling and how frightened they may be. But please know that the UI team and the Department of Labor will bend over backwards to try and serve your needs.
Nordlund says even if you still get on the site and you find that it's slow, not to worry because they'll backdate your claim to ensure that you still get paid. In Billings, Andrea Lutz, MTN News.
Just last week, Montana implemented emergency rules to make unemployment benefits accessible to workers laid off due to COVID-19. The state also waived the 1-week waiting period to receive those benefits. As many as 50 food and beverage business owners and managers checked in with Yellowstone County Public Health Officer John Felton this afternoon. That call hosted by the Billings Chamber of Commerce, and the big topic, how long will the county-wide closure remain in effect? Q2's Jay Cohn was able to listen in and joins us now from his home office.
A very interesting and frank discussion with John Felton today as we learn more about this COVID-19 virus and our local response to it. Felton stressed that deciding to close down all the bars, restaurants, and casinos in Yellowstone County was among the toughest decisions he's ever made in decades in the field of public health. First, regarding how long the closure will last, this was the big question. Well, some of those on the call today worried that the closure would be lifted too soon. Right now, it's in effect through April 10th. The owner of the pub station said he's in the business of people gathering, and he's concerned if it gets lifted too soon that we'll be right back to square one. The owner of the Montana Club said he was frustrated over the fact that each city and county seem to be implementing their own closure orders, different time frames. Felton said he understood the frustration, but said public health officers like himself represent just one county. There was also concern about the spacing involved with social distancing, the capacity size. Owners were wondering, would their capacity size be impacted down the road, perhaps permanently? Felton said, well, at least for the time being, when the pandemic starts to get over and we get back to some form of normalcy, social distancing is still going to have to be the norm. So he felt capacity size for the time being would be condensed. Felton said One bit of good news along the question of cleaning, that many of the common wipes and sprays work well against COVID-19. In fact, he says one of the most effective is the old bleach solution that perhaps the grandma passed down over the years. He said that's one of the best things. Also, Felton said once the casinos are allowed to reopen, there's going to be a spacing issue and perhaps a new protocol for cleaning the machines, maybe once after each customer per machine. And of course, the machines will have to be spaced out further, which means fewer machines per casino. I guess it's all part of this brave new world that we're all living in. So for now, that's it here from the home office. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Jay. The Chamber invited local media and businesses to take part in today's call. Well, medical experts reminding us all once again, if you are feeling the symptoms of the coronavirus, do not go straight to the emergency room. We touched base with Dr. Brad Fuller this afternoon for an update.
Right now, we're trying to keep the emergency departments free of questionable cases. If somebody is ill, they've got a fever, they've got a cough, they're short of breath, their oxygen levels are low, definitely we would want them to seek emergency care. Call your doctor. If you don't have one, you can go to the walk-in clinic. We're fielding calls all the time, several times a day here in our office, and we can kind of give some guidance or direction over the telephone that way.
The local businesses are seeing fewer customers through their doors as the community practices social distancing to curb the spread of COVID-19. Along with our parent company, EW Scripps, Q2 is highlighting local businesses that are getting creative with how they offer their services. To kick off our weekly Takeout Tuesday segment, Q2's Mitch Legge researched the safety of takeout food.
Research published last week from Rocky Mountain Labs in Hamilton found COVID-19 can live on hard surfaces like plastic and stainless steel for up to 72 hours and on cardboard for up to 24 hours. That's why it's important to manage the risk of infection when ordering takeout or drive-through meals. According to North Carolina State University, COVID-19 is thought to be spread person to person through respiratory droplets, i.e., saliva and mucus. There is currently no evidence that points to COVID-19 being transmitted by eating food. This is because COVID-19 infects via the respiratory system, or lungs, and not through the digestive tract, or stomach. It also may be possible to contract the virus by touching contaminated surfaces, then touching your eyes, nose, or mouth. While ordering takeout and cooking at home, it's important to practice good food safety hygiene. If you've touched takeout food packaging, it's important to wash your hands before you dig in. This makes sure your hands are clean before bringing a fork close to your face. It's also important to wash your hands after using the bathroom, blowing your nose, coughing, or sneezing. As the community continues to support its struggling local businesses, remember to practice good food safety hygiene. Wash your hands frequently to prevent the spread of COVID-19. In Billings, Mitch Legge, MTN News.
All right, thanks, Mitch. In keeping with the theme of supporting local businesses, U.S. Foods Careers dubbed today, March 24th, as the Great American Takeout Day. Still to come on the 9 o'clock news, A Secret No More will uncover who exactly made the push to get the Green Party on the 2020 Montana ballot.